Imagine a world where your thoughts ripple across the cosmos, collapsing possibilities into your very reality. What if the invisible threads of quantum fields are the real architects of your life, not just gravity pulling masses together? You've been told gravity rules the universe, but what if deeper than that, consciousness governs the particles, the fields, the potential? Today, you're about to uncover how spirituality and quantum mechanics merge, and why the quantum gravity model fails you when it comes to manifesting your dreams. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast quantum ocean, waves of potential, waiting for your intention to collapse them into form. If you're ready to stop living by Newtonian defaults and start co-creating with the cosmos, then stay with me, because what I'm about to share will change how you see manifestation, forever. In our Western culture, we've been handed a narrative: mass attracts mass, forces push and pull, gravity pulls us down, the universe is mechanical. We live in a world designed by and for the laws of Newtonian physics: solid objects, predictable cause and effect chains, time as a straight arrow. This paradigm serves well when launching rockets, calculating orbits, or building bridges. But as soon as you peek into your internal world, your thoughts, your emotions, your deepest dreams, the Newtonian story begins to falter. Here's the problem: many people believe that because gravity and mass dominate our physical experience, the same old rules apply to our inner life. You want something, you push, you force, you grind. You believe you're separate from everything else, at the mercy of what happens to you, rather than co-creator of your reality. You think manifesting means hustle, forcing outcomes, controlling circumstances. And that model is failing many of us. Let me tell you a story. Jennifer, name changed, had always believed success meant more money, more stuff, more security. She worked tirelessly, grinding day and night, believing that if she just pushed harder, she would get there. But no matter how many long hours she logged, she always felt like she was pushing uphill, like gravity was winning. She was stuck in a cycle of action-reaction, mass pulling on mass, effort colliding with resistance. Instead of feeling free and creative, she felt exhausted and blocked. The problem wasn't just her drive, the framework she was using was limited. She was manifesting from a Newtonian model: push harder, force your way, make it happen. And though that model has its place, when it comes to consciousness, meaning, spiritual transformation, it doesn't deliver the deeper changes that many of us crave. Science hints at something more. Quantum superposition says particles exist in many possible states until observed. Quantum entanglement says distant particles remain connected, beyond conventional cause and effect. Consciousness may not simply be the result of brain chemistry. Meanwhile, spirituality has always whispered, you are part of a unified field, your mindset matters, your vibration matters. But bridging those two, physics and spirituality, many struggle. They feel spiritual concepts are woo while physics is cold. Or physics is accurate while spirituality is soft. And so they compartmentalize instead of integrating. The outcome? Most people feel small, powerless, separate. They treat manifestation as another goal to hustle for rather than an expansive process of co-creation. When you rely solely on Newtonian thinking, I push, I get, I succeed, you encounter resistance. Because you're missing the field. You're missing the truth that reality begins not just with mass and gravity, but with information, possibility, vibration. The deeper issue: the human being is not just a mass in the field of gravity. You are an energetic field, a wave of potential, an observer and participator in your world. But unless you shift your story, you'll keep living as if gravity and matter define you, rather than consciousness and energy. That's why many feel stuck, uncertain, even hopeless. They're trying to manifest big dreams with old rules. In short, the problem is the old paradigm. The problem is believing you must force the outcome, wrestle the world into place. The problem is seeing yourself as a separate mass, rather than a wave of possibility in the quantum sea. And so the mission of this talk is to help you move beyond that, to a discovery of a new model, a method of manifestation that honors both quantum physics and spirituality. So what did we discover? What shifts when you realize you're more than gravity's child? The discovery begins with quantum physics, but it's more than that, it's the meeting of physics and spirituality, the crossing of science and soul. Let's unpack. Physics tells us that at the smallest scales, reality is not solid. Particles behave like waves. Subatomic particles exist in a cloud of probability until measured. According to one paper, atomic wave functions are not matter, but non-material forms, information, potential. What does that mean for you? It means the basis of the physical world is not fixed, heavy, inevitable, it's potential. It's possibility. It's data. And you are part of that. From the spiritual side, many traditions, from Vedanta to Taoism to modern teachings, have declared that you are consciousness in an ocean of awareness, that you are not the separate drop, you are the wave and the ocean. When you merge these two views, quantum physics and spiritual wisdom, you realize, you are an observer participant. You are broadcasting a signal. You are collapsing wave functions. You are aligning with possibility. And you are manifesting. My friend Mark, again a pseudonym, discovered this in a powerful way. Mark was battling chronic fear. He thought he was forced by circumstances, trauma, loss, uncertainty. Then he read about quantum manifestation. He began simple, instead of thinking, I must make this happen, he began practicing, I'm already in the field of what I want, I feel it now. He journaled a clear vision of his healing, felt the emotion of relief and joy as if it had already happened. Within months, odd synchronicities began, he bumped into an alternative therapist friend, a conversation led to a subtle healing shift, a door opened he'd never expected. It wasn't massive overnight success, but it was the beginning of a shift from pushing to aligning. From gravity to possibility. Here's what you discover when you merge quantum plus spiritual manifesting. Thought is electric charge, emotion is magnetic. Together you send a quantum signal. The field responds not just to what you do, but how you feel. Once you align upstairs, mind plus heart, the world begins to rearrange downstairs, matter plus form. You stop being just the mass in the universe, you start being the consciousness in the universe. You begin co-creating rather than reacting. Another dimension, time loses its tyranny. In the quantum field, while we live in linear time, deeper reality knows multidimensional time, possibilities coexisting. Manifestation isn't always, one action now leads to one result later, sometimes the field bypasses linear constraints. And that means miracles are not improbable, they're possible. Of course, we must be clear, this isn't pseudoscience magic where you just wish for a Lamborghini and poof it appears. But what it is a way of realignment with deeper laws of possibility. The discovery is, you don't force, you align. You don't wrestle gravity, you become wave-aware. This shift is profound because it changes your identity. You no longer say, I am the limited mass bumping into the world. You say, I am consciousness, creativity, co-creation, possibility. And when you accept that, everything begins to shift. So the discovery, the old model fails. The new model invites you into the quantum spiritual field. It shows that manifestation is not just doing, it's being. And once you accept that, you open the door to a method, a practice, which we'll explore next. Now that you've seen the problem and experienced the discovery, let's walk into the method, the step-by-step practice that aligns quantum physics and spirituality into manifesting power. These aren't vague tips, these are actionable exercises you can start today. Step 1, clarify the quantum signal. Write down exactly what you desire, but not just superficially. Detail the feelings, the environment, the senses. Example, instead of, I want more money. You might write, I am receiving an unexpected $5,000 payment in the next 90 days. I feel relieved, expansive, secure, generous. I am contributing to others with that money. My heart is free. Next, feel that emotion now, relief, generosity, freedom. Your thought is electric, your emotion is magnetic. Together you broadcast a coherent quantum signal. Exercise, 10 minutes per day, close your eyes, breathe deeply, inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. See the desired outcome. Feel it in your body. Hold the feeling until your physiology begins to shift, heart rate, breath, skin. Then let it go. Step 2, maintain momentum. The quantum field doesn't respond to fleeting thoughts and feelings, it responds to sustained alignment. So you must continue the feeling state over time. Don't slip back into old emotion, worry, doubt, fear. Each time you catch yourself drifting, return to your quantum signal. Exercise, set 3 reminder triggers each day, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, evening, where you pause, take 3 deep breaths, and ask, what signal am I broadcasting right now? If you're feeling low, recalibrate to the elevated emotion you want. Step 3, practice quantum gratitude. Rather than, I'll be grateful when, you shift to, I am grateful now, as if it's already done. When you feel the gratitude of the fulfilled desire now, you anchor it into the field. According to manifestation research, this aligns your electromagnetic field and sends a clear signal. Exercise, every evening, write down 3 things you are grateful for, including one from your manifestation vision, e.g., I am so grateful now for the $5,000 that is already flowing to me. Feel that gratitude in your body for at least 1 minute. Step 4, surrender the how. Here's where the spiritual and quantum meet, you create the what, you align the who. You inject the emotion, and then you let go of the how. The universe, or quantum field, is creative beyond your limited plan. By surrendering the how, you relieve resistance. Exercise, after your visualization/gratitude session, state silently or aloud, I release this to the field. I trust the whispers of creation and the intelligence of the unseen. I open to infinite ways this may arrive. Then breathe out, open your posture, loosen your shoulders. Step 5, observe and act from alignment. Manifestation often meets with synchronicities or nudges. These come in surprise ways, sometimes small, sometimes huge. Stay alert. When something feels right, act. But don't act from fear, act from alignment. Choose action that resonates with your signal. Exercise, keep a synchro journal. Note down weird coincidences, sudden ideas, meetings, dreams. When you feel a nudge, pause and ask, does this amplify my signal or distract it? If it amplifies, act. Step 6, embody the future you. Finally, live as if you already are the person you're becoming. The quantum key is becoming the frequency of the fulfilled desire. Don't wait for the result, become the vibration. This is where transformation occurs. Exercise, choose a future self anchor, could be a physical object, a piece of jewelry, or a posture. Each morning put on that anchor, stand in front of a mirror, say, I am that person now. I think like her/him. I feel like her/him. I act like her/him. Let your body begin to adjust its habitual pattern to this new alignment. By practicing these steps consistently, the quantum signal, momentum, gratitude, surrender, aligned action, embodiment, you shift from being a mass subject to gravity to being a wave of possibility in the field. You shift from forcing outcomes to co-creating reality. And the beauty of this model is that it doesn't deny practicality, you do things. But the difference is you act from alignment, not from desperation. In the next section we'll explore the transformation this method can bring, the deep internal and external changes you may experience if you commit. When you apply this method steadily, something remarkable happens, internal, external, subtle and dramatic all at once. Let's walk through the transformation, and I'll share a story to bring it alive. Inner shift, identity and energy. First, your sense of identity changes. Instead of, I am a worker, I am a sufferer, I am a victim of life, you begin to feel, I am a conscious creator, I am a radiating being, I am aligned with the unseen field. Your energy changes, you feel lighter, more spacious, more free. The world stops feeling heavy. The gravity of fear, doubt, obligation begins to lighten. Take the story of Sarah, pseudonym. She was trapped in a job she hated. She felt heavy, stuck, like life was pressing down on her. Then she began the method, daily visualization, embodied feeling, gratitude as if, surrendering the how. After a few months she quit. It wasn't reckless, she did it from a grounded clarity, not desperation. And within a year, she was doing work she loved, earning enough, and living with creative freedom. She said, "It's not that my life suddenly changed. I changed. My vibration changed. And the circumstances shifted around me." That's the inner transformation. External shift, circumstances and synchronicities. Externally, your world begins to reflect your internal alignment. Opportunities show up that you wouldn't have earned by pushing harder. Doors open. Relationships deepen. Work aligns. You find meaningful flow rather than grind. Because the field of possibilities begins to collapse around your signal. The transformation is not guaranteed to be big and loud overnight, but it is steady and consistent. It may show in a conversation, a project, a decision that now feels aligned. Over time, those accumulate. The gravitational pull of old patterns loses strength. Gravity still exists, yes, but you are no longer dominated by it. You now ride the wave of possibility. Emotional shift, from fear to trust. Emotionally, you shift from fear-based doing, I must push, I must force, I'm afraid I'll miss out, to trust-based being, I align, I signal, I open, I allow. That's a radical shift. You're no longer overwhelmed by life's pressures, you begin to feel a sense of flow, a sense of partnership with the universe/unseen. You begin to trust that you're not alone. You begin to feel connected, part of something bigger, maybe a wave of consciousness that you share with all. Spiritual shift, oneness and purpose. Spiritually, you start realizing you're not just here to survive, but to express, to create, to love. You sense that your life matters beyond material gains. You sense you're part of a unified field, that you and the field co-create. You start living in a higher octave of meaning. Your manifestation becomes not just for me, but through me. You start asking, how can I align and serve, rather than just, how can I receive? Story of the whole, Jason's journey. Let me share the full arc of a transformation. Jason, a former corporate executive, was burned out. He believed success was linear growth, more responsibility, more prestige. But when burnout hit, he realized the old model was collapsing. He felt hollow despite success. He felt the gravity of expectations pressing him down. He began studying quantum consciousness. He asked, what if I'm more than a worker in this system? He started the method. He visualized the feeling of freedom, created his quantum signal, practiced gratitude as if, surrendered how, acted when aligned, embodied his future self. Over 18 months, he transitioned to an impact-focused business, reduced his working hours, relocated, and most importantly, felt alive. He said, it's like I swapped being a brick in the wall of the world for being a wave in the field of life. That's the transformation. What might you experience? You might notice a sudden idea when you're not looking. A connection or person that enters your life in surprising ways. Old patterns or fears dissolving, you beginning to feel lighter. A sense of time stretching, you feel more spacious, more present. Your sense of purpose growing, you ask deeper questions. Manifestations not always looking like boom, money or fame, sometimes they look like alignment, peace, clarity. So yes, the transformation is powerful. And it's available. You just need the method and the consistent practice. And in the next section we'll go further, to the mission, what you're here for, how you can bring this into your life and into the world. Now that you've felt the shift, let's speak of your mission. Because manifestation isn't just about you getting something. It's about you becoming someone. It's about participating in the unfolding of consciousness and possibility in the world. Here's how to frame your mission, your why, so you don't just manifest for yourself, but for something bigger. Why this matters. We live in times of upheaval, uncertainty, change. The old models, mass-based, gravity-based, scarcity-based, are fracturing. People feel disconnected, isolated, overwhelmed. You've discovered a new story. You are a wave in a field of possibility. When you live that story, you contribute to a shift. Your alignment isn't just personal benefit, it becomes collective uplift. You start participating in the evolution of consciousness. Your personal mission statement. Write a mission statement. For example, I align my quantum signal so that I contribute freedom, creativity, and authentic connection to the world. I manifest not just for me, but for others, and I trust the unseen field to orchestrate my greater contribution. When you have this mission, you're no longer simply manifesting because you want more. You're manifesting because you're answering a call, a deeper call. Integrate into daily life. At the start of your practice each day, ask, who am I becoming today in service of my mission? During your aligned actions, ask, does this amplify my mission or distract from it? In your gratitude list, include contributions. I'm grateful for the opportunity today to help someone else feel seen, to create something meaningful. Share and inspire. Part of mission is amplification. You don't have to keep this transformation private. Share your journey. Lead by example. When you align, others sense it. Your radiance invites them. Your story becomes testimony. You might mentor someone. You might create content. You might just live differently, and your life becomes light for others. The bigger vision. Imagine a world where individuals live from alignment, consciousness, possibility, not fear, scarcity, smallness. That world begins one person at a time. Your mission is to show, gravity doesn't have to define life, quantum consciousness can. Your life becomes a beacon. There is another way. If you're ready to live beyond gravity and create your reality through consciousness, start now. Visualize. Feel it. Align with it. Subscribe and share your journey. The quantum field is waiting for you.